My name is Allie Payne. I know exactly what it feels like to grow up as a teenager in a well-meaning family I was just so different from. They didn't know what to do with me. On the outside, I had it all together, winning academic and athletic awards. And on the inside, I was a frantic, anxious mess, feeling unloved and angry. I was wrought with anxiety from falling short of perfect every day. I developed an eating disorder and attempted suicide by the time I was 17. I vividly remember acting out in all sorts of ways, and yet I still felt hopeless and powerless to change my situation. I didn't know how to communicate my feelings or what I needed in a way that my family could hear me. When I went away to university at 18 years old, I knew right away that the tapes going on in my head were not normal. I got myself into counseling in a hot minute and spent the next 10 years fiercely pursuing healing to free myself from my emotional pain and the negative coping patterns that I had developed because of it. When I became a parent, I was resolved to creating a different experience for my children. They would feel loved and celebrated. They'd be loving and compliant, and I would never have to raise my voice or a hand to them. And then I realized, holy crap, this is hard. I found myself solo parenting while my husband was away for extended periods of time. There was more month than there was money, and I was noticing these negative patterns from my past starting to come back. You know, when you open your mouth and you hear your parents' voice come out? I found myself on my knees in tears, feeling absolutely crushed by the weight of the reality of my situation so far from the fantasy that I had in mind, and having no clue how to get out of it. I felt like I was drowning, like I could barely breathe. Every day was like getting up and climbing a slippery, muddy wall that I would slide back down and keep repeating the same negative patterns, even though I was desperately longing for something different. And in some way, I knew it was possible. I started to wonder what was wrong with me. How could this be happening when I had done all of this work to try and heal myself? During my life and relationship coach training, I realized how dysfunctional relationship patterns get started and how to untangle and heal from them. I knew I had to share these powerful tools with other parents to help them understand teens like me. I felt driven to share my education and experience with other families so that they could understand how to connect in healthy, lasting relationships without the emotional pain and trauma. Through even more years of my own healing, I took ownership of my own monsters, and I saw how I was both part of the problem and the solution, so projecting my pain on anyone wasn't going to solve anything. As I healed myself, I started to see my learning in a new light, and I could implement tools that once felt complicated and awkward to create a new level of awareness using new tools and become the parent that I wanted to be. My relationship with our boys became so much easier and less frustrating. Going through these changes felt really hard, and I got it wrong a lot. I was dealing with my own anxiety on a daily basis and my impulse to control the situation or my children and reach some unattainable level of perfection. All this while dealing with my oldest child, who was then diagnosed with his own anxiety disorders. I dug deep to find a level of calm and compassion for myself so that I could learn to be more present for our boys and let them be boys and have that look messy sometimes. As an avid learner, spending over 2 decades in personal development programs, I've read hundreds of books about the brain and relationships from top researchers and therapists. I developed healthy and effective coping techniques for myself and built a successful coaching practice over the last 14 years, setting hundreds of others free from negative and painful relationship patterns. Our boys are becoming young men who take responsibility for their actions. They openly and freely communicate their thoughts and feelings, and they listen without judgment. They're compassionate and respectful, and I don't remember the last time that we had to discipline them. My husband and I often ask each other, how did we get these amazing boys? They are confident and comfortable in their own skin. They have healthy and supportive relationships and make choices based on strong values. We absolutely enjoy being around them as they take on the next phase of learning to adult. My self-tested, client-proven process has been so successful, and I know it will work for you too. I want you to feel appreciated and respected by your teenager while you connect in an open, honest relationship.